Everyone, and thanks for tuning in to this week's video message. I have heard from so many of you that this is feeling like a deeply hopeless time. In many ways, it feels like we're living in a time when things are really stuck, and it's hard to imagine a way out. The war in Israel and Gaza, for example, continues unabated with seemingly no end in sight. So many of us are feeling hopeless as we witness the terrible devastation and death that we're seeing in both Israel and Gaza. And we look at it and we can't imagine how it will end and how both Israelis and Palestinians will ever enjoy safety and peace with one another. We're seeing the anti-Semitism that is coming out of some of the campus protests and from the wider community, and it feels alarming and discouraging for so many of us. It's hard to imagine looking at this, how we move forward. And it's hard to imagine how do we get to a time where not only we're safe as a Jewish people, but where we live in a world where we're all truly celebrating our differences. Many of us are also looking at just how broken our politics here are in the US, and we feel hopeless about how we're ever going to reach a point in which our country is defined by freedom and equality and justice for all. In many ways, this is feeling like a hopeless time for so many of us. For that reason, I want to talk about a couple of things that are bringing me hope right now. One of those things is our community. This past Friday night, we celebrated Volunteer Appreciation Shabbat. And as we celebrated all of us who help volunteer to make the temple thrive, as well as the outstanding contributions of Nikki Glick and Charlie Bernstein to the community, I really felt in the room the kind of joy and togetherness that reminds me what community is about and what community is for. Community is about making sure none of us walks alone. It's about deepening our joy and holding one another in our grief as we walk through life. Community is about living out kindness and justice within our walls, but also coming together to shape our wider world to reflect those very values. I felt all of that on Friday night, and it gave me hope that we can make it through all of this because we have each other. Another thing that's giving me hope are all of the people who are gathering in Israel who are fighting for peace. In spite of how much anger and hopelessness people are feeling there right now, hundreds of thousands of Israelis, Jews and Palestinian citizens of Israel alike, are taking to the streets refusing to give up on peace, refusing to give up on a better future for themselves and for generations to come, and are doing everything in their power to put an end to this war, to secure the return of hostages, and to create a future of safety and freedom and equality for all people in the land. Their courage and tenacity is giving me tremendous hope. And if you're interested in learning more about this, I hope you'll join me for our discussion and learning session October 7th, Where Do We Go From Here, on May 28th. In these hopeless times, all of this reminds me of the words of the Book of Lamentations, which looks upon the destruction of ancient Jerusalem and our beloved temple, and is still able to say, Ulai yesh tikva, there may yet be hope. So I say this to you, even amidst our pain, even amidst our discouragement of this moment, there may yet be hope, if we choose to turn toward it. With that, I want to invite each of us to reflect this week, to reflect on what is bringing us hope, or to reflect on what we might turn towards that could revive our hope in this time. I hope you'll share your responses to these questions with me. You can reach me at rabbi@bethtorah.org. I look forward to hearing what's on your heart and your mind.